Hi guys, Shema Polot here. Welcome back to the channel. So, here's a scenario for you this week. You run a business and you want to know what profit you will make if you sell an X number of products, or if you sell a certain quantity of products if you price them at a given point. Okay, so I want to show you a fancy and nifty tool in Excel called the what if analysis tool, which allows you to test scenarios which can be really useful for your business. But enough talking, let's get into it. Okay, all right, so here is this data that I've set up. Okay, so now I have quantities sold, I have price per unit, I have revenue, I have expenses, and I have profit. Okay, now we know that to get revenue is equal to quantities sold times price per unit, and we know that the profit, just to delete that and show you, profit is equal to revenue minus expenses. Okay, but now what if you wanted to know how many products do I need to sell to get a profit of $5,000? Okay, for example, how many products do you need to sell to make a profit of $5,000? Now you can come here to quantities sold and just keep sort of varying the numbers from 200 to 300, and you see like at 300 it sort of crosses the 5,000 mark, right? You can do that, but that's a waste of time. You can use Excel to do it. Now what you have to do is go over to the data tab, then go over to what if analysis, click the drop down, and what you're looking for is something called goal seek. Okay, now this is the tricky part because sometimes people get tripped up on what to put where. Now the set cell is the cell where you want to put your profit, your desired profit. Okay, so it's there, and you want to set it to what value. Now the profit you wanted, you said, is $5,000. Now by changing cell is the quantities. The quantities are the ones that are going to vary. Okay, so you click that and then you click OK. All right, and once you click OK, as you can see, Excel sort of computes it for you and gives you this like output, and you're immediately able to see that you have to sell 260 items to make a profit of $5,000. Isn't that really useful? Right? So I am going to show you one other thing to do. Okay, so now what if, yes, you know you have to sell 260 products to get a profit of $5,000, but what if you want a variety of options? You want to see, what if I vary the price per unit? What if I vary the quantities sold? What profits am I looking at on a large scale? Okay, so that is where we come up with this option here. And so I've sort of set up this table like this way, and all I did was put the current price per unit in the middle, and then I just sort of varied the prices by adding $5, as you can see here in the formula bar. I just added $5, and I can do that again just so you see what I did. I came here and I said equals that, and I said plus 5, and then this I just copied it and pasted it there. Okay, then up here I just subtracted 5 from 20 and then got 15 and then pasted that up here as well. Okay, so now we have a variety of price points, okay, for price per unit. And then also in the quantities sold, I got this, I had originally set it at 100 over here. So I put 100 in the middle, and then I varied them by 25. So I just added 25 and added 25, so I have this like range here. So I want to see what profits I will get based on these parameters. Okay, so to do that, what we do, the first thing what we're going to use is something called a data table, which is also inside the what if analysis. When you come inside data and you go to what if analysis, what you're looking for is data table. This is also called in math, it's some sort of sensitivity analysis. You're basically checking different scenarios and seeing what products are outputted by the system. Okay, but that sounds fancy. So let's go with data table. But okay, so in order to create the data table, you have to set up your information like this. You have to set up the quantities that you want and the price per unit that you want, which you're going to use the quantities you're going to vary and the prices per unit that you're going to vary. You have to set them up precisely like this. Okay? Now, once you have that, the only tricky part of it is if because you want to find the profit, You have to tell Excel what specific computation you want it to carry out, okay? So to do that, in this cell over here in the corner, you just link this profit cell equals B5 like that, and you press enter. And this here is showing those hash signs just because the space isn't big enough, but there you have it, okay? Now, once you have everything, we now have everything that we need to create the data table. So all we do is we select this entire range like that. We go to what if analysis and we go to data table. And now this is the tricky part of the process: row input cell and column input cell. Now for row input cell, what you want to put is the quantities sold because they're the ones in the rows, as you can see here. Okay, but what value are you going to put inside here? You're going to put this value here, which is quantities sold. Okay. And then in column input cell, again, you want to look for the values which are in a column, which are these. And what values are these? They're price per unit. Where is our price per unit? In this cell right here, okay? Once we have that, we click OK. And once we click OK, as you can see, our table populates. Again, there's a lot of hash signs just because the columns are small, but here's a quick hack for that. You just go to the center here in the corner. You come here and you double click here, and there you go, they autofill. I'm just going to move this one over here a little bit just because it's a bit stray. And there we have it, okay? So at this point, we can do a bunch of things just to make it clear what's happening, because these values are the profits, okay? So I use Command 1 or Control 1 on your PC or Mac, respectively, and I change these to dollars. So just so you know, these are the profits, okay? So now we need to check and see if this is working. So what we do is we check the current scenario we have. We see 100 quantities sold at $20 per unit. So we come here, $20 per unit, and we see 100 quantities sold. And as you can see, 1,800, 1,800, that means all of these are correct. Now, a few just like housekeeping things. So one is this value here that sort of anchors this table to this table can be a bit confusing to look at. So what I recommend is that you hide it. There are a bunch of ways you can hide it. My favorite way to do it is using this trick in Excel. Again, you open the Format Cells window by using Command 1 or Control 1. You go down to Custom, and in here, you type 3 consecutive semicolons. 1, 2, 3. You click OK, and as you can see, Excel hides that automatically. As you can see, the formula is still behind the scenes in the cell. It just isn't visible to the naked eye. This is useful now if you want to sort of like take a screenshot of this so that you can share it in a presentation or something like that. Another thing that people like to do is they select these profits just so they stand out from these quantities sold up here and these prices per unit, and there are a bunch of different ways to do it. I always just recommend doing conditional formatting of some sort. We can try color scales, and yeah, let's go with that, something like that, okay? So this just shows the darker the green, the higher the profit, okay? And very clearly we're able to see that obviously if you sell a lot more items and you price them a lot higher, then your profit will be higher. But we all know that doesn't always make sense in business because, you know, the market decides. But yeah, there is a very useful tool for you to use in your business. It's a very good way to test scenarios on how much profit you're going to make, depending on how many things you plan to sell. So whenever you're rolling out a product, it's a good way to sort of test and see projections and things like that so that you can make your planning for how to go about marketing and selling your products. Okay? Yeah, that's it for this video. I will leave a link to this workbook in the description below this video. And if you like these tips that I share, I also have a very nice newsletter called The Friday Fix that comes out every Friday. It is fantastic, and if it's a newsletter that will make you a better personal and professional individual. And if that's something that's interesting to you, I will leave a link to The Friday Fix so you can sign up for it. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.